Hi, this is Pastor Eric, and just wanted to kind of do a little follow-up from the message on Sunday, talking about Daniel and, of course, Nebuchadnezzar. In chapter 4, we see a second dream that Nebuchadnezzar has. And this dream kind of represents there is this tree that comes up and it reaches to the heavens and is providing shade, and everybody can see this tree and its glory and its majesty. And all the animals are kind of finding shelter in the tree and nutrients and food, and just being taken care of. Well, that kind of represents Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom. But here's the bad part, is in the dream, an angel comes down and cuts down the tree, and all the animals are scattering around and just looking for nutrients and everything. Well, Daniel interprets this dream, and he talks to the king about that one day, if he doesn't change and do some things differently in his life and let go of his pride, because he thinks he's accomplished all this, that he's going to be hanging out with the beast. He's going to lose his mind and actually just kind of walk around the earth and eating grass and having dew on his body. Well, it actually occurs. It actually happens. And it's interesting that we read the words of Nebuchadnezzar. He's speaking to us because this experience has happened to him. And so he comes and gets back to his senses. And this is what he says after he becomes this beast and kind of loses his mind and eats the grass and has the dew on his body for a period of time. And it says, at the end of days, I, Nebuchadnezzar, lifted my eyes to heaven, and my reason returned to me. And I blessed the Most High and praised and honored God who lives forever. For his dominion is an everlasting dominion, and his kingdom endures for generation to generation. Just makes you think of that rock of Jesus, the eternal kingdom, coming in and knocking the whole statue down in chapter 2. All the inhabitants of the earth are accounted as nothing, and he does according to his will among the host of heaven and among the inhabitants of the earth. And no one can stay his hand or say to him, what have you done? I love that, because here it is like no one can question God really, because he is God. This goes back to Job and conversations that Job had with God, because he's like, Job, were you with me when I formed the foundations of the earth? No, Job wasn't. So we need to keep in perspective of who God is. And this is the last part as we skip down in chapter 4. This is the last verse I want to share with you tonight. Verse 37, it says, now I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and exalt and honor the King of heaven. For all of his works are right, and his ways are just. And those who walk in pride, he is able to humble. So let's ask ourselves that question tonight. Do we have pride? Are we kind of thinking we're all that and a bag of chips? You know, we're excited about what's happened in our life, and we feel good about things, and somehow we start getting this idea in our head like, wow, I've really got a lot of good things in my life, and I've done a lot of good things. And so we start getting this pride that comes in and creeps in our heart, and we start thinking we've accomplished something when it's not true. It's not true. God has allowed us to have the things that we have, and we need to give it back to him. So make sure that we don't let pride creep in. It's easy when we're comfortable, when things are going right, when things are going well, to start thinking carnally that it's us, and it's not. It's always God. It's God providing. It's God working things out. And we need to stay humble. Thanks for joining us tonight.